We're rolling. We're rolling. Okay, some questions need to be answered, Geoff.
They do. Serious questions.
Serious questions.
Serious questions.
Yes. I'm going to let you read them because you read things better.
So, yesterday Lee posted on his community page saying we're going to do a Q&A. A tent-side Q&A. You still got the sticker on the bottom of the glass.
I know.
Show the viewers. You have another sip and show the viewers. We bought some glasses yesterday so we could have a little drink by the tent, and then immediately broke one. You have to go back.
Broke it.
Well, you didn't, because that could have happened to anyone.
I put it on the floor and it broke.
Yeah, that was that. So we needed to buy another one. Anyway, right. I'm just going on your post to find the question.
Can I just say, while you're finding the question?
Yeah.
It's June.
It's June the 14th.
And we're in France.
Yep.
Which is south of the UK.
Yep.
It is freezing. It's raining. I was in my tent last night, freezing. You were asleep, and it was literally pouring down.
Apparently, we had like a Jumanji-style monsoon.
Yes.
With like crocodiles floating past.
Yeah.
I slept through all of it. Which could have been something to do with somebody suggesting that we open the second bottle. And it's been ridiculous. So it's just been on and off all day. So it's like you can't do anything. So should we go out? We'll wait for the rain to stop, and then it doesn't. And then the sun comes out, and then you're like stripping layers off because it's hot, and then it rains again. It's been so weird, hasn't it?
I think I want to be in Benidorm.
Benidorm. At least the weather's a bit more predictable down there.
It's warm though.
Yeah. So today, just so you know where we're at, no racing today. It's Friday. There was a little bit of there was the Fun Cup this morning, so we watched the Volkswagen Beetles a little bit this morning, and then we had a walk around the village, and that's pretty much it for today. Racing starts tomorrow. Race starts at 4 o'clock. So I've got 50 odd questions, and we'll do as many as we can.
Okay.
I'm going to sort them in just
Just go from the top.
Let's just go from the top.
Some of them are for you.
All right. Hang on, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to sort by newest first, and then I'm going to go from the bottom. So we're going to go with the oldest one, the first person that posted, basically. So let me go down to the bottom. There's a few questions for each of us, and some of them are quite vague, and they're good, basically. You've all done a good job posting your questions. What will happen to all of the caravan owners who have to tow as electric cars aren't up to the job, says Darren Hart.
You won't be going anywhere anyway. You'll be going within 15 minutes of your house.
Look at him, straight into the conspiracy theories on question number 1. I was going to wait until about question 7 before we went into any of that.
But you know what the difference is between actual reality and truth and a conspiracy theory?
Go on.
It's about 2 years.
I think it's less than that.
Less than that now, isn't it?
This is the problem, isn't it? Right, let's get back to the question then. So, caravans. Now, there's a lot of caravanners out there, and caravans traditionally have always liked, well, basically that. A diesel, a Volvo estate has always traditionally been like the caravan lover's dream.
Yeah.
But, Lee's right in what he said there. Obviously, we have issues with range with towing a caravan. The minute you attach something to a car, it's going to deplete the range. But I think the people I do feel sorry for are people who are one-car families who've got the EV by force as a company car, and there's a lot of those people out there. So they get this company car, they get the EV, and they think it's great, and the company's paying for it and all that, but they don't realise the pitfalls of an EV until it's time for the family holiday or the caravan holiday. So yeah, I mean, you can tow a caravan with an EV, knock yourself out. You're just going to be stopping a lot to charge. But I guess they've got a lot of torque, so if you want to tow your caravan quickly, you can.
I think you'll find
Go on.
it's a great idea towing a caravan with an electric car because while it's charging, you've got the kitchen in the back.
That's true, yeah. So at least you can make yourself a cheap cup of tea and save money. Oh, that's what I meant to say to you. You've already done your breakdown of the Benidorm costs. I haven't got around to doing mine yet because I've been busy farting around with cars. I could not, you know what I'm going to say, I could not believe how much money you spent snacking in service stations. It was €200.
Oh yeah, it's nuts. Mounts up, all mounts up.
Nuts. So yeah, basically caravans and EVs, they don't really work. Scotsman in Tenerife says, have you recovered from Benidorm yet?
That is Kevin, and I went drinking with him, and only just.
This is. Did you recover from drinking with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went drinking with him.
You had a couple of heavy nights, didn't you, in Benidorm?
Good grief, he can drink. The Scottish can drink, I can tell you. Unbelievable.
What editing software do you use, please, from Ian Knight?
Final Cut Pro.
Final Cut Pro for Lee. I use iMovie because it's just all I've ever used. Des Conway says they will have to get a hotel like the rest of us or go tenting. A little bit confused by that one. That's not so much a question, but we are tenting.
I'd love to get a hotel.
Yeah. Lee was,
It's not for me.
the tent thing has been funny with Lee. I don't mind it, but I'm very glad that we got a tent that has like this central lounge area,
Yes.
because without that we'd be shafted today.
Well, in my mind, this was not the tent that we were going to have.
Yeah, Lee thought we were in like a one-room tiny dome tent.
It's the only reason I came down.
Is the Silver Fox doing the American trip with you?
I don't know. I'm hoping Geoff Buys Cars will do it with me, because I'm wanting to do, and we've mentioned this, I wanted to do Tesla versus old car. So if I spend, say, $900 on a Tesla for a month or whatever, or 3 weeks, whatever it's going to take, then or be quicker than that, whatever I spend on it anyway, you've got to spend the same amount on a car.
Yeah.
So I might spend like $500 or whatever. You've got to spend $500. You've got to get a car for $500.
Yeah.
And there is somewhere that my mate Big Dave in the States told me about, where you can buy the car and they just scrap it. You drive it to scrap it.
That sounds really fun. And I'm not jealous, right? If he wants to do it with other people, we're not exclusive. We don't do exclusive collaborations. I'd like. I said this before. People are always like, when you know, I
get that. Where you in Benidorm? Where's Geoff Buys Cars?
Yeah.
Have you fallen out with him? Well, no, he's with his family.
Exactly. Or if I do a video with someone else, they're like, oh, I bet Lee's getting jealous. Well, he's not, because it's just
I'm doing other stuff.
Other stuff. So America trip, yeah, and I think I've said this before as well. I'd love to do a trip across America, east to west, in like a big woody station wagon. You know, like National Lampoon's sort of. What was I watching the other day? The original Bigfoot movie, where they have like a wood-panelled 70s wagon. That's my dream car.
That is you.
That is me. Question from Fraser. What's louder, a proper Porsche on idle, Geoff's snoring, or Lee's snoring?
Oh, 100%. We had about it. Mine.
Do I snore? Have you heard me snore?
No.
Okay, there we go then. Lee, yeah, the other night. It was been the first night I woke up in the night and you...
Oh, my mate, the crackmaster Daniel. I slept in the same room as him when we did a challenge years ago, and it was in Tenerife. And he got up at 4. He says, "We got to go, man. We're on mopeds." He said, "Your snoring is that bad. There's no pictures on the wall. You sucked them all off."
So basically, that is the answer.
And Sarah tries to sort of like suffocate me to stop me snoring.
Love it. Is it true that you once had an affair with Mrs. Overall?
I think that is Julie Walters.
Right.
Julie Walters? Yeah, Julie Walters. I've actually quite fancied Julie
Mrs.
Walters.
Overall? Why are they calling her Mrs. Overall?
She was a character in Dinner Ladies or something like
Right, okay.
I believe so, anyway.
I'm showing my age there, and I'm showing the age of all your subscribers. There's a couple of years between us, isn't there?
Yeah, a couple of years.
I'm reading that and going, what? This is from the old days.
Could I be your dad?
Could you be my dad? Is that a request?
I'd like to adopt you, Geoff.
It's been funny whilst we've been out and about, like if Lee's paid for something, but thanks, Dad.
The crazy thing is, though, right, I posted a picture of the back of my lad's head on a train the other week.
Yeah.
And everyone was going, "Oh, have a lovely day out with your grandson." I'm like, "That's my son."
Yeah.
I have a 4-year-old lad.
Said this earlier on, he had this realisation when he was like, "Geoff, do you think I'm an old dad?"
It's nuts.
So, next question. This is from Craig, who fixed my Renault for me. Geoff's had a big road trip. Did it scratch his itch or whet his appetite? I'm just a bit obsessed with road tripping at the moment. I think anyone that's watched all of my recent content, obviously I flew to Benidorm, then we drove to Benidorm, then I had my holiday in Malaga, now we're doing this. I've got the travel itch again, big time.
Yeah. I
used to travel a lot before kids came around, been kind of all around the world, and now I'm back just wanting to get out there more. So, yeah, you know, it scratched the itch, but the more you travel, the more... I find that the more you travel, the more you want to travel, because you can never see everything and there's always something else to see. So, yeah, what's next? I don't know. Everything is next. That's the answer. Would you consider a challenge? I have a Chinese car, which I believe is quicker to 60 or 100 than any Volvo or your Taycan.
What Chinese car is it?
A Chinese car. I don't know. I'm not into... I don't want to sound... Neil, I don't want to sound rude, right? I am not... And people who watch my channel will know this. I am not interested in 0 to 60 times or 0 to 100 times, because I just feel, for the most part, they're completely irrelevant, especially driving in the UK.
However...
Lee says yes, though.
No, however, I'll borrow the Taycan from South Lakes, Porsche South Lakes.
The new Turbo.
The new Turbo S, whatever
it doesn't have a turbo.
It doesn't have a turbo. It's 0 to 60 in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing I would win him on that.
But we're curious to know what car it is. A Chinese car, which I believe is quick. Is it radio controlled? Have you got like a really hyped up radio control
car?
Could be, yeah. If you didn't have an EV car and you were choosing a great petrol or diesel car, which one would you pick?
911.
911.
Yeah, 100% 911.
What kind of year then?
I'm going to sound a bit snobby here, right?
Go on.
I'd have to buy a new one.
You'd have to buy a new one.
Yeah, because I've bought older used cars before, and it bothers me. Don't laugh. Stop laughing, right?
Everyone who's come over here from my channel is like, Geoff, why are you friends with him?
It's because I think to myself, it's like I had a Range Rover Sport, right? I've told you I bought it.
Yes, the one you didn't like, and you
I
sent
took
it back
the next day.
Yeah.
Because it was used, and I just thought I don't like that. And I had an M3 convertible, and I got rid of that after about 2 weeks because it was used. I thought I can't have a used car because there's going to be nasal debris from other people in the footwells. Now I can't do it, so I have to have new. So to be a new 911, it's a new 911 Carrera 4S.
There is the answer to your question. Thank you very much for that one. Crispy 2009p. Reese says, love your videos. Will you be doing any more videos with the Crackmaster and taking Geoff to Ireland? That's a good idea, actually.
I would love to do more videos with the Crackmaster, and yes, I will. I do keep in touch with him, and we're going to take Geoff to Ireland. Yes.
I like the idea of that. Again, the only problem I have with that is we're investing, if we go to Ireland, we're investing a lot of time and money in somewhere where the weather's probably not going to be any better than home. And I've reached a point where if we're going to invest time and money, I want to go to places that are warm.
Yeah,
I've been to Ireland, it's beautiful, and I'd like to do it again.
We actually said just before we set the camera up, the weather's a bit rubbish. Would you rather be in Benidorm?
Well, we both like to chase. You called us sun chasers earlier on,
yeah.
and we are. I feel like they've turned the music up now.
Yeah, but I don't worry. They won't be able to hear it. Not very well, anyway.
Do you ever go to nudist beaches?
Nobody needs to see me nude. Not even myself. Not even my girlfriend. And this is very unprofessional. I'm going to go and put myself another Jameson. So I'll leave you with Geoff a minute. This is funny because I can't get out of this chair.
I'll deal with a couple of questions that are aimed at me or that I can handle on your behalf. Okay. Someone says, would you vote for Trump or old man Biden?
Trump.
We're both a little bit Trump, aren't we?
Yeah, but don't. I mean, I'm not.
You're not voting. The thing is, you're not voting for old man Biden, are you? He's not running the show. There's no way he's running the show. He can't get himself dressed in the morning, so he's clearly not in charge.
I don't want to get into politics.
No.
Right, because you always lose people if you get into politics. I'm not a political person. I don't really care, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I just think Biden, he's too old, isn't he? He's an old man.
Forget Geoff buys cars. Where's Geoff Carter? No offense, Geoff buys cars. No offense taken, because we do. You know, you do different videos with different people.
We're not exclusive.
If Lee started doing EV versus diesel challenges with Geoff Carter, then maybe there'd be a strongly worded WhatsApp message. But no, it doesn't matter, does it? So where is Geoff Carter?
I spoke to Geoff Carter today. He's just done a bike review, electric bike review. Geoff is fine. He's not doing as many YouTube videos because he's enjoying life and doing, living day to day and enjoying life.
Yeah, absolutely. Your car to Nordkapp in Norway, drive all of Sweden. This is a little bit, we did sort of touch on this, didn't we, when we were talking about possibly an Arctic Circle thing.
Yeah.
And driving up north. The problem with that is cold and very expensive, because it's expensive to be in Norway anyway. And then when you've done the challenge, you're in the Arctic Circle. we could do it and then airlift the cars to somewhere hot. Then that's fine. I'd love to visit the Arctic Circle. It's something that I've discussed with my wife, and something to do as a family trip as well. But we just haven't got around to it. And again, like we probably just go
I'm
somewhere
going to
else.
lean back like a sloth.
Like a sloth. They're comfy deck chairs, these, aren't
They're
they?
comfy, but I look like a sloth.
A little bit like a sloth.
I'm trying to look cool, which is difficult at the best of times, but it's not. It's even worse in this chair. Right? Okay.
Right. Louise Hay, Haigh, that's how you say it, isn't it?
Hey,
Haig, who may be our new transport secretary, said she doesn't have an electric car as there are not enough charging facilities in Sheffield. Still, she wants to force us all into electric cars. What is going to happen in 2030 is petrol and diesel is going to become unaffordable. What happens to your local garage? What about companies that make oil filters, etc.? Discuss. Big one, that.
I'm going to leave that one to you.
Agenda 2030 is real, the war on the motorist is real, and sadly, I hate to break it to you, but the New World Order and all this real bad stuff that's coming down the line from the World Economic Forum is all real. Yes, they will get you out of your car, but I think you should be more concerned about how they're planning to get you out of your house. So if you look at what happened with the energy bill and what net zero will require of your property, I really wouldn't worry about it. We've got to get to 2030 first. And then after that, well, there's just going to be trouble after trouble after trouble. I hate to be, the sort of the naysayer of doom, but I just think if people don't start to pay attention to what's going on, they're going to miss it. And then suddenly someone's going to knock on the door and say, "Can we have your house keys, please? Because you didn't upgrade your house to the latest level that was required by net zero." And you'll say, "Oh, well, I can't afford to do that." And I say, "Don't worry, we'll move you into the projects in the city, and your house will be reassigned to someone more appropriate." And all that's been coming. And I deal with it all on my channel, and it's super depressing. So consider that question answered.
That was deep.
Yeah. Would you ever stay at a haunted hotel? I hear there's a lot of them up north now. There's something different. If you dear ghost, find the most haunted hotel. If you're brave. This is a good suggestion. Would you do that?
Stop in a haunted hotel.
Go and find a haunted hotel and film it all.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not doing that.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I am not sure, and I'm quite happy to say I don't know anything about anything. So when it comes to all that, there's definitely stuff. People have seen things, stuff happens. We are all effectively energy, and energy moves in different ways. So when you go to a certain place, it may be that you're picking up on some energy from that place. So there's definitely something to this.
We had a deep conversation last night.
Did we?
We did.
Remember?
Where I said, bear with us, stick with us here.
Well, it reminds me what actually happened last
I
night.
said, anything that's past where we can see isn't there and doesn't exist. It's
This was
of-
before we were drinking.
Yeah.
So Lee basically, it's kind of like the holograph projection theory, in that the only thing that actually exists is whatever you can see. Anything that's outside of your vision doesn't actually exist. You manifest everything into life. So, there's the bank over there where we know that the racetrack is, but right now, for all we know, the racetrack isn't there because we can't see it because we're not manifesting it within our vision. And what I said to that was, "You're an absolute nutter." Well, no, I didn't, because Lee can't prove that is not the case, and I can't prove that it is the case. We could argue all day long and we still wouldn't reach a conclusion unless we got a gigantic mirror and checked that the racetrack is still there. But even then, we'd be manifesting the mirror and the view on the mirror into existence.
And then what if you FaceTime me from there? I'm seeing that track. This is getting very deep, isn't it?
Well, no, you're not, because you're only seeing what is within your frame of view.
Yeah.
So none of it might exist.
It's very deep. Let's move on
Very
to the next
deep.
one.
I have to keep unlocking my phone. So yeah, the question was, would you stay at a haunted hotel? I think you should do that for your channel.
Yeah, I'd love it. Yeah, I'd
Cool.
love to.
There you go.
Definitely.
If you were presenting top, we read this one earlier on and we had a
We
chat
did.
about this. If you were this is from Conrad. If you were presenting Top Gear for real, which presenter are you? Hammond, May, or Clarkson? Not the other 6 or 7 they had. Let's start with those guys. They were all rubbish, weren't they?
First of all, we're not trying to be any of them.
No.
Right, because I don't think that works. And I do say some sayings that Clarkson comes out with, and also that May comes out with, like, "Oh, cock,"
I think anyone that's into cars at some point comes out with
with
a quote from the show,
quote from the
basically,
show.
or a quote from those presenters or characters, whatever you want to call them.
Interestingly enough, my girlfriend says, when I first met her, she says, you remind me of Piers Morgan, the way you portray yourself.
Yeah.
And then recently she said, you remind me of Jeremy Clarkson. I'm not sure whether I don't think that's flattery at all, really, to be honest.
Well, this is the thing. Like, I think when we do these road trips and when we put the videos together, there's different elements where sometimes I'll be being Captain Slow, sometimes you will. People often say that I am Hammond, and then we both have elements of, doing stuff a little bit like what Clarkson would, or shouting power,
speed,
when I'm definitely not going past you at 140 mile an hour. That never happened. So I think we're all a little bit of all of them, but we're not trying to be anyone. We're just sort of trying to be ourselves and make videos in our own way. Yeah. And if we were them, then we'd have a film crew and an editing team.
Yeah,
which would be really nice.
We wouldn't have to sit there for a whole day editing videos.
I don't think people appreciate just how much work goes into these.
The first day we were here, we were sat in an Italian, was it, or something?
Yeah, we went to an Italian restaurant, charged all of our devices, and it was nice. We could see the track and everything, but we worked our balls off.
For how many hours? I think it was about 8 hours.
We were there a while, yeah.
Yeah, about 8 hours editing.
And I'm not complaining because we enjoy it, and there's something really special about when you cut that clip just right and the timing of that's just right, and then you line up the music and it all works really well. And then you go into YouTube analytics and find that people only actually watched until about 7 minutes in, and nobody got to that bit that you really thought was good anyway. But that's just all part of it, isn't it? Another question: has Geoff still got his Renault? From Chandler Binge. Chandler Binge, that's a good name, isn't it? Considering what happened to Matt Perry, he did binge himself to death, I think.
Controversial.
Has Geoff still got his Renault? Yes, I still have my 1969 Renault 10. I never use it. It's parked up in a field. I haven't seen it for months. I've still got it. I've got it for sale. Nobody wants to buy it. I haven't had a single message on that car. So I'll just keep it. And again, the reason that I can keep it is because it's tax exempt, it's MOT exempt, and the insurance is £95 a year. So it doesn't matter if it's hanging around. It's all right. I like driving it, but I need to chop the roof out of it. Do you ever own a pair of Honda pants?
Honda pants?
Is that a pun? Honda pants, underpants, Honda pants.
My dad had a Honda Civic.
Your dad had a Honda Civic. Did you wear Honda pants?
Not as I know of, no.
No. So no to the Honda pants then. What are you looking forward to over this race weekend, and what is your favourite class of cars? We've been discussing this as well.
Do you know what? I'm out of my league with Le Mans, to be honest.
But so am I. We've come down here for the experience, but the thing is, when you watch the racing, most of the cars on the track do not resemble anything that we recognise as cars from showrooms. So you've got a few Ferraris in there, you've got Lamborghinis, but the amount of cars that are flying past me, and I'm looking at it and going, I don't even know what that is. And then you have to get your phone out and you've got to Google the race number of the car and work out what it is. And some of the fastest cars on the track are Cadillacs. And I would never have said that. If someone had said to me last week, what do you think is going to be the fastest car at Le Mans, I would never have said it's going to be a Cadillac.
We did say, though, back in the day, I was really into touring cars.
Oh, you're more than me.
Yeah, Jason Plato, Ricard Rydell.
Yeah.
And I actually was so much into it. I actually bought a Renault Laguna that Alan Manu drove, which was yellow and blue, I think.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Yeah.
And then I actually went, I think it was Jason Plato that was it Ricard Rydell?
Rydell was Volvo.
Volvo.
So he would have had the S40.
Yeah, the S40.
After driving those.
Yeah, and I bought the S40 because they drove it. And you can relate to those cars. With these cars, you can't relate to it.
Yeah, and you have to appreciate that, that is like the hypercar. You're at the absolute top of racing. But I don't know, there's something special about watching cars on a track when they resemble cars that you know from seeing them on the road. Yes, you've got the 911s, the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, there's the Lexus, but I mean, there's a BMW racing, and it hardly looks anything like the one from the showroom. And I know that's the idea because they need to win. But yeah, no, I've been really enjoying researching all of these cars. But the other part of that question was, what are we looking forward to about tomorrow? Tell you what I've been enjoying over on my channel. I haven't really been filming much. We've just been sort of drinking things in. But what I have been doing on an evening when the night racing is on, I've been doing live broadcasts. and people have been chatting along, and that's been really fun. And from a YouTube point of view, they don't make any money, but I really enjoy. So I'm out there with my tripod, with my phone on, and I'm chatting away, and I'm interacting with everybody whilst watching all the cars and asking people what they want to see. And on my live feed, so a car will go past, and I'll say something like, "Oh, that one looked like a very quick one. It was number 33. Anybody in the comments tell me what it is?" And everybody's interacting and looking at what the cars are with the list from the website, and then we're all working it all out together. And I've been really enjoying doing that. So I'm planning. Race kicks off on Sunday, and that's what I'm planning to do. We've got where we are. We've got a big screen, which is great. So I feel like as well, it would be very easy to come to Le Mans, watch the race, and have no idea what's actually happened.
Yeah.
Because you're basically just watching cars go meow all day long. But we've got the big screen, so we should be able to get everything set up. So, I don't know, we've both come down here with no expectations, really.
Well, we come down with Team
Langostine.
Langostine.
Who do hosted camping. And we've been having a great time. But no.
Food's been great.
Yeah.
Bar's great.
This is a nice way to do it. It's like a managed camping way.
Yeah.
Whereas I think some of the other campsites...
We walk past them, it's a bit chaotic.
A bit more like the Wild Wild West. But no, I mean, this is my first time here, and I just really wanted to check it out and see what it was all about. Did we answer that question? I think
we're
we probably
looking
did.
forward to, basically. Well, just the experience, the sounds.
Yeah.
For me, the sounds.
That first night, when we got here, and we walked up that hill, and we heard it, and you realise you're only 20 feet away from these cars. And it's visceral.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to replicate that anywhere else because you feel it in your bones, don't you?
I've got a question for you.
Go on.
It's me asking you a question now, isn't it? What's going to happen to Le Mans in 20 years' time when petrol and diesel is banned?
Again, this is a difficult one because we've been walking out in the Le Mans village today, and basically it's like a huge trade area. Everybody's paid to be there. There's loads of punters walking around. Everybody's on display. So you've got all the manufacturers, and it's all electric, isn't it?
Yeah.
So all of these things, you've got Total Oil doing a big display about sustainable energy, and they've got a model there with solar panels and windmills and an electric car on show.
Can I just correct you there? Wind turbines.
Wind turbines. And it's funny, and I had a funny experience when Alpine, obviously French brand, they're a big presence out here. They've got a showroom not far from Le Mans, and they make some beautiful cars. And they are showcasing a race car, an Alpine race car. It looks fantastic. And you walk up close, and on the window it says, electric vehicle for customer use. So they're trying to say that, we're going to sell you this electric car that you can then take racing. And as I was filming it, I could just hear, a couple of blokes walk up behind me, and they did the same thing I did. They walked up and went, "Oh, that's nice." And then as they got closer, they went, "Oh, it's electric." But what's going to happen to it? I mean, let's say that you cancel the race cars because of the emissions, right? Let's just say you decide that the race cars are producing too many emissions, so we're going to go all electric. How do you get all of this here? How many lorries has it taken to set all of this up, and how much money is being pumped into the local economy from this event? You can't do this with electric power.
No.
Well, there's the answer. So the answer then goes back to the conspiracy theories, which says it won't work, so it won't work, so it won't happen. Another good reason to have come down here, because we don't know
well,
right
we need
now.
to do something because of the global warming and stuff, because it's so hot here.
We could really do with some global warming, because it is... Honestly, it's
freezing.
It has been so cold. It was 5 degrees on the first night, and I was fairly prepared, right? I got jogging bottoms, I got a fleecy top, I got a woolly hat.
You slept in
right?
a woolly
and
hat.
I brought a double duvet with me, so I'm okay. But I was lying there thinking, is Lee going to be all right? Am I going to have to go hold him?
That's why I bought the single duvet.
I was really worried that he was going to wake up and be blue. Geoff, what happened to Leo? He went hypothermic on night one, so
the same colour as his car.
I wrapped him up in a bin bag and he's behind the tent. So don't know. This is another one that's kind of directed at me actually. What's your opinion on DPF filters, and do you think it's okay to have them removed for the sake of better fuel economy, performance, and overall reliability?
I'm leaving you with that one.
Yeah,
I don't even know what a DPF filter is.
Could you grab me another beer out of the cool box? Bad. DPF filters, diesel particulate filters. Now, the problem is, and I had a very long conversation with a friend of mine the other day who's trying to buy a Skoda Octavia. With cars, in the old days, cars used to do 25 to 35 miles to the gallon. So let's take my petrol-powered Volvo that I took to Benidorm, 30 miles to the gallon, and that used to be the norm. Then diesel cars came along and suddenly everybody can get 50 miles to the gallon. That one did 57 on the way down to Dover. What happened next was the manufacturers were forced to try and make cleaner engines, and in the bid to make cleaner engines, they added all of this stuff which made them less reliable. So now you say, I can have a cleaner engine that's not going to last as long, or I can have a slightly dirtier engine that's going to last forever. So from a saving the planet point of view, you can't really win, because... We're all good.
Keep going.
Oh, sorry. From a saving the planet point of view, you can't really win, because you buy the newer car that's got the DPF and it's got the EGR and it's got all that stuff, and if you don't buy that and get the older one, then you might be polluting slightly more. Just going to pause there, Lee. Look at that plane up there. That is at the exact same height as one that I watched earlier on, and what do you notice?
There's nothing coming out the back of it.
Coming out the back of it. I filmed one today at the exact same height. Anyway, edit that bit out.
No, I'll leave it. I was just...
I'll leave that bit in, then I'll think I'm crazy for saying that the weather's being manipulated. We can see it! Right.
I was just making it lighter, by the way.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, because it is getting dark. Is Geoff a good tent buddy?
An amazing tent buddy. In fact, he made the tent. He built the tent.
You'll see that on my channel when I eventually
go over and watch
when I eventually edit the 2 hours worth of tent building.
Carry on tent building.
It was hilarious, wasn't it? That.
Oh, it was brilliant. Was it all of them?
No, I'm just having a little drinky break.
You having a drink break?
Well, I'm going to pour that into my glass, you see. Right, you do one. Grab my phone.
Okay, grab my phone. Can you do that in Welsh?
Right, can you grab my phone and give us a go with some of these questions from your superb followers?
Oh, by the way, there's a reply on is Geoff a good tent buddy? And it's a guy that says, Adam Timpson, bit of Brokeback Mountain going on. We've got separate rooms, all right?
We have got separate
rooms. When you started, this is from Ray McKenzie, when you started your channel, did you ever think you would get this far with your channel and subscribers? And did you ever have a figure in mind that you would be happy with when you started, and how started it, and how do you think it will go this year and next year? Well done, Lee, for what you're doing. I'm going to say I didn't think it... I expected, first off, and a lot of people expect this, to put the first video up and get thousands of views.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen. You have to keep going and going and going. Did I expect it? I didn't have any expectations, to be honest, to start with. I just enjoyed making videos. Where do I think it'll go? And I've said to you, and I've been quite open about this with people, at the end of the year, I do daily videos at the moment. At the end of the year...
You work hard.
Yeah, I won't be doing daily videos next year. This is the last year that I'll be doing daily videos.
Yeah.
I will probably do 2 or 3 videos a year.
Yeah.
Sorry, a year. 2 or 3 videos, calm down, a week. 2 or 3 videos a week, and then that will be it. And if I don't put, and I maybe not put any videos out at all one week, it depends. And the reason being is, my little lad's 4. Harriet is now 12, I believe. No, she's 12. I've got grandchildren as well, and it's bloody hard work, and you don't get to see them. And I went away with them this weekend, and I went on a boat and a train to the Lake District with them, and James just said to me, you know, Daddy, can you stay with me forever? And I just thought, you know what? Yeah, I'm 100%.
Yeah.
100% getting a bit tearful now. 100% not doing this next year every day.
It's tiring. I mean, it's a great way to earn a living, but it does, and I think even when you try not to let it consume you, it's extremely difficult not to let it take over your life.
It takes over. You sit there. I sit there with Sarah, liking, hearting, looking at comments, and she says, "Can you get in the room with us here?" You know, it's annoying. I just think, and people say, "Is it you that answers them all?" It is me that looks at them and likes them and hearts them. I think they think people think other people do it. They don't.
And as well, as creators, the reason that we'll stick a heart on a comment is to acknowledge that we've read it, because we do appreciate all the comments. And I do want to take the time to, I do go through all the comments and reply where I can, or when something needs a reply. Yeah. And I feel that's important. It's difficult when you've had a video that's gone viral and you've got thousands of comments. then it's really hard to keep on top of it.
That
It's hard
one-
anyway. But
That one that nearly had 1 million views
Was that-
the price of my car?
this was a recent one, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 970 odd thousand.
Well, that got to like 500,000 within like 2 days. It was ridiculous.
I couldn't keep up. I was up overnight going through the comments. It was nuts. So where do I see myself? Just doing 2 or 3 a week and going and just enjoying life, really. A lot of people don't see the hard work, and they also don't see I've got bills to pay and I've got stuff to pay, and I'm trying to, and they have a go because sometimes they have a go because, you're not with your family, blah blah blah. No, because I'm trying to pay for stuff for the family.
Yeah, that is, earning your living. So it's difficult because it, like I say, although it gives you the freedom to work on your own time, you're still trapped by this.
Yeah. Well, luckily, I was in a partnership many years ago, and my private pensions come up this year because I'm 55. So I'm like, I'm just going to draw on them, but I still want to make YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But I want to do it just for fun and not have the pressure of having to do it every day.
Yeah. Also, the other thing that I'll just touch on briefly that we've been discussing lately is YouTube are changing the way they present videos to people, and you've noticed it, I've noticed it, other creators that we speak to have noticed it, and it's always a concern that YouTube are going to mess with an algorithm or click a button, and suddenly our videos aren't going to go out to people the way that they have been doing. And we've seen a little bit of this over the last few months, with channel views generally being quieter and advertising revenue being quieter, and I think it reflects what's going on in the wider economy. I just think there's less money around, and that's what's happening. Less people are advertising, less people are paying YouTube, so YouTube are doing less with the content creators and pushing content less.
A lot of the lorry drivers that my mate Dave speaks to, they've had the same thing. But I've got to the point now where, because I'm almost to the end of the year, I'm just thinking, overly that bothered. I love doing it for I like the creativity side of it. You always say I spend hours editing my videos, and I can't. I'm such a perfectionist. I can't do something that is wrong here. It's got to be perfect. I've got to get the right angle. I've got to get the right exposure. Otherwise, I won't put the video out. And that's the reason why. I mentioned this last night. This video's a long video, by the way. Stick with us.
We only meant this to be 15 minutes, but we're on it now.
I said, I can't do lives because if it pixelates or if it goes wrong, it does my head in. And you're like really laid back. You went, it's alive. It is what it is.
It's got to roll with it. You can't help the fact that there's no signal. But I'm at Le Mans and people might want to see that. So I did a live last night, and for the first 5 minutes, people were saying it was like 5 frames a second. But then when I moved around, found some better signal, got a really great different spot to watch the race, and then people were saying it was the best one ever. So had I given up, we wouldn't have had that broadcast, and that was really fun last night, chatting along with everyone. I
love being on your lives. I just don't like doing the lives myself, but
so
there we go. I see myself
the long answer to that question,
relaxing a little bit more next year.
There's another one that's very similar there. Where do you see yourself 5-10 years from now? What have been the highs and lows of the journey so far? From myself, a content creator who's pretty bang average, but he's trying. Highs and lows. Let me just touch quickly on that. I started making YouTube videos because I wanted to be a car presenter and I wanted to make videos about cars. And I banged away at that for probably 18 months. And because I'm a little bit ADHD, I got obsessed with making the videos. I would put hours and hours into making the videos. And relative to where the channel is now, no one watched them. They weren't making any money, but I was investing all of my time in something that wasn't making any money. So for me, talk about highs and lows, one of the low points was 2 Novembers ago, I got sacked from a job for not paying attention, basically, because I was doing all of this. And but that was the break point where I went, oh, I'm in trouble now. And it was just before Christmas. I thought, right, I've got 2 choices here. I can keep doing this YouTube thing and try and make it work, or I can go and get a job. And there was a part of me that was like, this addiction, this habit, this bad habit that you have of playing around with YouTube, and I had a word with myself. I was like, you got to stop it now. It hasn't worked. You're never going to be a YouTuber. You're never going to make any money from it. Give it up. And it wasn't long after that. But, talk about manifestation and energy and stuff. There was a moment where I sat down and I said to myself, you're going to make this work. This channel is going to grow and you're going to make something of it. And it was around that time I changed the style of the videos, started making videos about ULEZ, started making videos in my car, talking about the news, presenting stuff to people, and views started to climb. And within 2 months, I was kind of looking at the numbers and be like, "Oh right, well that's what I was earning before." And that was an amazing moment, but it was scary because it was like I've invested so much of my lifetime and energy in something that hasn't worked. So I would say to people, do it because you enjoy it, enjoy the craft of creating videos, but please don't let like money be the goal of it. Just do it because you enjoy it. Because if you're doing it because you're enjoying it, and if you're putting out good content, then all of that stuff will probably come. But don't aim for it. Because I think if I went back in time, right, and I said to myself, this YouTube thing is going to work, but it's going to take you 2 years, and you're going to almost lose everything in the process, I don't think I'd do it.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Do you know what I like about YouTube?
Yeah.
Is the people that you meet. It's a journey.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I met you. I met Daniel the Crackmaster, etc. And you meet different people.
Yeah.
I think that's the great thing about it.
But also as well, it helps to speak to other creators. So if you can speak to someone else, you can say, right, well, I put this video out the other day and it only did this number of views, and I did this and then I did that. And we're always talking about, what's working, what people are watching, what people aren't watching, how we can sort of mess around with things, and talk to. There's lots of people I talk to. Obviously, talk to Rich from Challenge the Road as well, helping him grow his subscriber base. I talked to Richard Vobes, he's got a channel as well. So yeah, and I think we're always talking to other YouTubers like on a daily basis with WhatsApp, whoever else, because we all just connect with each other because we're all interested in making videos. And that's quite cool. That
what is interesting is a lot of people, like you say, oh, we're not exclusive. A lot of the viewers get they get, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's almost tribal.
Yeah, between two YouTubers together. It's like, whereas I go off and do stuff, you go off and do stuff, but it's interesting how they get like that. Oh, you're cheating on Geoff or whatever, and it's like you can have more than one mate.
Yeah, totally.
But I like that anyway. I'm just going to check the exposure while you answer the.
Yep. All right. Next one is, while you're doing that, any chance of going back to Cyprus and giving it another chance, even if you feel to go to Pretoris rather than Paphos?
Any chance of going back to Cyprus? Do you know what? Yeah, I'll tell you why. I think everything everywhere and every person deserves a second chance. So yes.
Yeah. Do you genuinely think we will all be forced to drive electric cars in the near future, or will it be a passing phase? And there's some replies on that as well.
Gonna let you answer that one.
Yeah, Matt Perkins says, I assume you haven't seen Labour's manifesto. Obviously, petrol and diesel cars are going to be banned in 6 years. No, it's not going to be a passing phase. And the goal isn't to get us all into electric cars. The goal is just to get us out of our cars and to stop us moving around. That's really all it is. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Lynn says, did you get a bit tipsy last night watching the cars racing around while you were drinking Jameson? How was it sleeping under the stars?
I'm just going to say, Lynn. Is that Lynn Rowlands?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, Lynn Rowlands. Hi, Lynn. I'm going to say, how was it sleeping under the stars?
What stars?
What stars? It's sleeping under the clouds.
Sleeping under the rain.
Sleeping under the rain. And tenting's not for me. I'm out of here on Sunday.
He's not a tent man.
Yeah, on a plane and into a hotel.
Good question this, which we discussed earlier. If a tree falls down in the woods and no one sees it, does it exist? Similar to what we were saying earlier on.
If a tree falls down in the woods and no one sees it, it hasn't happened.
Exactly. It was always there.
Yeah.
I like a bit of that philosophy. Especially for Geoff, this one. How do you know where to draw the line with what you can safely say on YouTube to avoid being terminated?
Be careful, this is on my channel.
Yeah, exactly. I keep an eye on what other people are saying and try not to be the most extreme person in the room, but I don't self-censor very well. I should do. And again, if it was all about the money, I wouldn't say anything controversial. But for me, it's not all about the money. It's about raising awareness as to what is going on. I have to get this stuff out to people. But if you say that certain members of the royal family, YouTube doesn't seem to like that.
And I might have to beep a bit of that
out. Yeah, even if that's what's happened. Right. Matt Master, when you eventually replace the Taycan, would you seriously consider another EV considering how much the EV vlogs are the most watching and commented, despite the fact you really like to go back to an ICE car.
Basically what he's saying is, if I get rid of my EV, most of my videos, the high click videos are EVs on me. I'd love to have a 911.
Yeah.
I like the way my Taycan drives. I love the way the Taycan drives.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of backlash from saying, oh, the new Taycan's amazing. If I put you in that Taycan, you'd say it was amazing. It's a great car. Ideal scenario would be to have the new Taycan and the brand new 911 on there as well, and have both.
Yeah. But again, like, isn't that ironic from a saving the planet point of view? What we've just decided is the ideal scenario is to have two cars, one electric and one not. Because there's a lot of people as well. Who was chatting to someone at the bar yesterday?
He's got both.
He's got both, yeah. Because you can't just have the one.
Yeah. To be honest, at the end of this year, it doesn't really matter anyway, because I'm stepping it back a bit, so it doesn't really matter. So I'd love a 911. I'd love both. It'd be very difficult because I do like the way the Taycan drives. Yeah. But I love the way the 911 sounds.
Yeah, but also, we were both kind of admiring that electric Peugeot 208 earlier on.
You know what? That's around town.
It's a cute little car. It's great colour. It was like a bright lime yellowy green. It was proper Geoff, wasn't it, that colour? And I like that. Another question here, right, and I've got something on this. What's your thoughts on disabled drivers trying to access charging points in their EVs?
Right,
hang on, let me do this very quickly.
I answered it, but go on.
Very, very quickly. The other day, you've said, I think it's disgraceful, it needs to be more friendly. I noticed at our local supermarket the other day, they put new charging points in, and I decided that I was going to make a funny video about the fact, lots of people had sent me that the copper was being stolen out of the charging things.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I thought, because I was waiting for the wife, I was like, right, I'm going to go see how these things work. And I went and grabbed the charging plug off the thing, and I nearly flipping dropped it. It was that heavy. So I was making a funny video about just how heavy the copper is in that. But from a disabled person point of view, you've got all that weight to deal with.
I think you'll find, though, that... Did I just say that?
I think you'll find.
Tesla charging cables are lighter.
Are they?
Yeah, they are.
Why are Tesla charging cables lighter?
For that reason.
Oh, right, okay. So if you're disabled, get a Tesla. Fair enough.
But I think they need to look more into that. I actually feel quite strongly about that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Because it just they're heavy. They're really heavy.
They're heavy, man.
Are you going to enjoy some proper French food? Well, we're catered for with our camping deal, but we'll probably get
pizza. We've had stew.
I would tell you what, we did have a very good pizza. That was nice.
Which they charged us about 4 times too much.
Yeah, we got ripped off in a restaurant, and maybe that's a story for another day. How about you and Geoff hiring a camper van for a tour around some of the UK, bit more comfortable than a tent, and then do a family trip in it, either of you, to compare. To compare what? Do a trip around the UK. Camper van in.
Do you know what? I don't mind the idea of a camper van.
Yeah.
Tent, not so much.
Yeah.
With my family, Sarah wouldn't appear on the videos anyway. I don't think Mr. Jeff would either.
No, she didn't. So, and I wouldn't put the kids on either way. So the family stuff doesn't really work.
Yeah. But anyway, we could do it.
What I'd love to do, and I don't know if Leah would be up for this, and I don't even know if it's possible. This is where we need to have a production team and a budget behind us.
Yeah.
Because that's when I'd love to do Top Gear challenges when they had budget behind them.
Yeah. So
to be able to say, here's some money, go and buy a camper van, and then turn up at a location.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff would be quality. But if we're paying for it ourselves, it doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
Especially with the way the channel views have been in the last few weeks. We just end up with a lot of crap on the drive that we can't sell, and I've already got that. Last question. When are you coming back down under to do a road trip with M-Guy?
Right, well, actually, M-Guy watches you, is a big fan of yours. And I met Simon.
Yeah, good guy.
You've spoken to him, haven't you?
Simon's a good one. I've got his number. We speak every now and then.
I thought it was great, fantastic, great channel. And he and I spoke about doing with John Cadogan as backup car across the Nullarbor. And I mentioned to you, I said, you should do this. You should do this. And it's a bit too late now because it's winter in Australia.
Yeah.
People think it's hot there all the time, but it isn't.
No.
And I said we should do it, and I'd love to do that. I think
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Yeah. I'd like to get out to Australia. I don't think I'd probably come back.
Do you know what? I could take.
You could live there.
I could take Sarah and the kids to Perth and never come back.
Yeah.
I sent you pictures of the sky there every day.
It's
And
beautiful. It was.
It was just blue
Yeah.
constantly, and I mean blue. It was like being beaten around the head by a blue
Yeah.
sky. Anyway,
Do you know what you should do? As you conclude this video, you should grab the camera and just pan around and show everybody where we are, because we've been talking about it all.
I'll let you do it.
You let me do it.
Yeah.
Go on then. Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we are. This is our little tent, which you'll see on my channel. I did a little MTV Cribs. The Volvo's over there. You can see 2 bottles of Jameson's in the boot.
One of them's empty.
One of them's empty. I did have a hammock hooked up to that. So the main sort of tent marquee thing is over there. That's where we've been getting food. There's a bar there as well. And there's a big screen. You can just see the corner of the big screen there. The track itself is up there. So behind that bank is the track. Sadly, there's no night racing tonight, but that'll all be tomorrow when it all kicks off. And then camping all over here as well. So that is our little setup. And now it's time for me to say, I've either got to say onwards or good night, because I'm not sure what we're doing next.
What we say is, am I on the camera there?
You are.
Okay, we need to get a thumbnail actually. Here we go. Look, we'll do the thumbnail. Ready? Questions need to be answered, Geoff. Ready? Kind of a or this. We do a or a.
It's a bit broke back, that.
It
Get away. Get away.
Wait a minute. There we go. Anyway,
Beautiful.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button, click the little bell for notifications when I upload new videos. Make sure you head over and subscribe to Geoff Buys Cars, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and if you've got any more questions, pop them in the comment section down below. Goodbye.